Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the noise, pull out the key insights just for you. Today, we're tackling something that trips up a lot of investors, both new and seasoned, actually. It's navigating these, well, increasingly complex digital investment platforms, especially in fast-growing regions like the GCC. So the big question is, can just one app really simplify things, give you powerful tools, and help you feel genuinely well-informed fast? We're doing a deep dive into the Derayah financial app to see if it measures up. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is just how essential these digital tools have become for investing today. I mean, the market seems flooded with apps, right? But what really makes one stand out, what makes it truly impactful, is whether it can actually cater to a really diverse range of users. You know, from someone just dipping their toe in to a pro doing high-frequency trades. It's not just about listing features. It's really about accessibility and, well, empowerment.
Absolutely. And that sounds like exactly the space Derayah Financial is trying to play in. So at its heart, it's a digital investment platform based in Saudi Arabia, but serving the whole GCC region. And their goal seems pretty clear: make investing simpler. But the interesting part, I think, is how they're doing it. Focusing on security, sure, but also making it really user-friendly, trying to break down those walls, maybe, especially for people new to investing, while still having enough substance for the experienced folks.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, one of its most obvious strengths right off the bat is that broad market access. And look, this isn't just about having, a longer list of things to buy. It feels more strategic, helping you genuinely diversify, maybe hedge against risks specific to just one market. So Derayah gives you direct access to the Saudi market, to Tadawul, naturally. That makes sense. But it also opens up the broader GCC markets. And what's really quite impressive is the global reach. We're talking direct access to over 31 exchanges in 18 different countries. That's a huge landscape of opportunity that, frankly, wasn't easily available to most regular investors before.
Wow, okay, 31 exchanges. So once you have that kind of access through Derayah, what can you actually invest in? You mentioned it's like a supermarket. Tell us a bit more about what's on the shelves there.
It really is aiming to be that investment supermarket, yeah. So you're not just looking at, like, basic stocks and ETFs, although they have those, of course. Exchange-traded funds, just a basket of investments you trade like a stock. But they offer a much wider range of financial instruments, things like derivatives.
Okay, explain derivatives quickly for us.
Sure. Derivatives are basically contracts where the value comes from something else, an underlying asset like a stock or oil or gold. They let you do more complex things like hedging risk or speculating. Then you've got sukuk. Those are like Islamic bonds structured to comply with Sharia principles. They sit alongside regular conventional bonds. And yeah, you can even trade commodities directly, things like gold, silver, copper. Plus, they give access to IPOs, initial public offerings, and options trading too.
Okay, quite a lot there. And building on that supermarket idea, you mentioned something specific: a mutual funds supermarket. Because let's be honest, sometimes managing investments across different places feels like trying to organize a messy drawer. This sounds neater.
Yeah, it's designed to be exactly that. Much neater. It lets you manage all your different mutual fund investments through one single account on the platform. Think about how fragmented that can be. Otherwise, different providers, different logins, different statements. This kind of consolidation, it's a huge plus for just efficiently managing everything.
Right.
And honestly, it cuts down on the headache factor quite a bit.
Right, less paperwork, less logging in everywhere. But what if you look at all those options derivatives, Sukuk, global markets, and just feel overwhelmed, especially if you're new to this? That's where Derayah Smart comes in, right? Their robo-advisor. How does that actually work for someone just, starting out?
Yeah, that's a really important piece of the puzzle. Derayah Smart is specifically built to help new investors. It helps them build and manage a diversified portfolio automatically. But here's the crucial part. It does this based on your financial goals and your risk tolerance. And you don't need to have any prior investment knowledge to use it. It asks you questions, figures out your profile. By bringing together this automated advice with that wide range of investments we talked about, Derayah isn't just making it simpler, it's actively trying to de-risk that initial step for new users. It shifts the focus away from which stock should I pick towards what am I actually trying to achieve. It really helps, I think, democratize access to proper financial planning.
That sounds like a really solid starting point for beginners. But is it flexible? Like, what if your goals change or you become more comfortable with risk? Is it just set it and forget it, or can you adapt?
Good question. It's not strictly set and forget, no. You can go back in, update your goals, maybe change your risk profile, and the system will, reevaluate and adjust the portfolio accordingly. However, for someone whose needs become really dynamic, or they want to try very specific, maybe complex strategies, Derayah Smart might serve more as that excellent starting point. It might encourage them to then explore direct trading later if they feel ready. It's really about meeting you where you are on your investment journey, I suppose.
Makes sense. And speaking of more active involvement, for the more experienced traders, the app also offers financing options, margin trading.
That's right. They do offer margin trading, which basically means you can borrow funds against your portfolio to increase your buying power. But what's particularly interesting, especially for the region, is that they offer Sharia-compliant margin options.
Ah, okay. How does that work?
Well, it means the margin facility is structured to avoid interest, or riba, and certain types of prohibited speculation, adhering to Islamic finance principles. So you still get that increased buying power, but in a way that aligns with those specific ethical guidelines. That's a really critical feature for a significant segment of the user base there.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Beyond just having access to assets and financing, you need the tools to make smart choices, right? What does Derayah provide to make sure investors are actually making informed decisions, not just guessing?
Yeah, absolutely critical. And this is where their toolset seems quite robust.
Yeah.
You get real-time data and analytics directly within the app. So that means like live price feeds, market depth information, seeing the buy and sell orders, detailed trade data, interactive charts so you can visualize trends, and importantly, daily financial news integrated right there.
Yeah.
I've seen so many investors struggle because they're acting on old news or delayed prices.
Yeah.
Having it live is, well, fundamental.
And managing everything you own, what are the portfolio management features like? You mentioned smart lists earlier. What kind of common mistake might that help prevent?
The portfolio management side looks pretty comprehensive. You manage your entire portfolio, stocks, funds, everything in that one secure place. And those smart lists, yeah, they automatically track the securities you actually own. The common mistake they help prevent is simply losing track, especially if you have a diverse portfolio, maybe some smaller holdings. It's easy to forget to monitor something or not realize how it's performing. Smart lists keep it front and center. Plus, they provide detailed daily reports on your trading performance, which is crucial, right? For making adjustments, learning from what worked or didn't. It helps you move beyond just buying to actively managing.
Okay, sounds like the tools are there. And the user experience itself, you mentioned it's user-friendly. Things like setting up an account, is it quick? And I saw something about instant currency exchange.
Yeah, they seem to have focused on making the onboarding smooth. Fast and simple account setup is definitely a plus, gets you going quickly. And yes, the instant currency exchange is a nice touch. For example, swapping Saudi riyals for US dollars instantly within the app. That really smooths out the process for trading in international markets, removes a common pain point. They also support more advanced order types, specifically for the Saudi market, like conditional orders or linked orders. That shows they cater to active traders needing more sophisticated tools. And another thing, the platform integrates with other well-known tools, things like Ticker Chart, DirectFN, TradingView.
Ah, interesting. So you can use those for deeper analysis.
Exactly. It suggests a more robust ecosystem. You're not just limited to the app's built-in tools if you want, say, advanced charting or even social trading features from TradingView. It points towards flexibility for different user needs.
Okay, this all sounds quite powerful, but when we're talking about money, personal investments, security and trust are absolutely paramount. What reassurances are there? How does Derayah build that trust?
Yeah, non-negotiable in this space. And the key thing here is that Derayah Financial is a CMA licensed company.
CMA being?
The Capital Market Authority. That's the main financial regulator in Saudi Arabia. Being licensed by the CMA means Derayah has to adhere to really strict regulatory standards.
Yeah.
That covers things like investor protection, how they handle your funds, data security, all of that. It provides that essential foundation of trust because they're operating under rigorous oversight. It's not just some random app. It's a regulated financial institution.
That definitely provides a significant level of reassurance, which I imagine is exactly what users are looking for. So what does this all mean? If we bring all these pieces together, the market access, the diverse products, the robo-advisor, the tools, the security, what's the main takeaway for you about the Derayah financial app? How does it serve that mission we talked about at the start?
Well, it seems designed to be that shortcut, as you put it, to being well-informed and equipped in the investment world. It does this through that really comprehensive feature set, the broad market access, both regional and global, and that focus on user-friendliness. It genuinely seems to cater to both ends of the spectrum, the seasoned trader needing sophisticated tools and margin, and the absolute beginner who needs guidance via something like Derayah Smart.
So it bridges that gap quite effectively, it sounds like.
I think so. And this raises an important question. How might accessible, secure platforms like this reshape personal financial planning? Not just for you, the listener, but for a whole broader generation of investors. These platforms aren't just tools anymore. They're becoming potential pathways, really, to greater financial literacy and ultimately empowerment.
That's a powerful thought. The idea that technology isn't just making investing possible, but potentially making better investing more accessible to everyone. Taking control of your financial journey. Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Derayah financial app.